I was shooting free throws and I'm shooting free throws. I noticed it's like lasers on my people pointing lasers, red lasers, green lasers, all on my. So I'm looking down, I'm looking around like, okay, all right, like this is what's gonna happen. I end up making the free throw. I'm like, they're just then the police had to storm the fans, whatever, try to, it was crazy, bro.
Oh my
Crazy.
gosh. Welcome back to True Gem TV, where we are highlighting athletes from the Dayton area. Today we are joined by a very special guest. He played at CJ, played at Mount Verde Academy, he played at Virginia Tech. He also won a gold medal and is currently playing professionally in Mexico. We have Justin Bibbs today.
Yo, what's up? What's up? How you doing?
Not too bad, man. How are you doing? How's the off season, or like I guess preparing for the season over there in Mexico right now?
Yeah, we played in 2 days, a back to back. So man, we've been after it with these practices. So yeah, I'm all good though.
Well, that's good to hear, man. It's good to hear.
Yeah.
That I just saw when you were in Dayton a couple weeks ago, and then here you are in Mexico, like getting ready. Like, how's the team like the off season? Like, has it been good so far? Like, just kind of preparing, or like, are you getting used to the guys, or is it take a little bit of
I
time?
mean, it's taking a little bit of time for sure. Our team is very veteran driven. We got a lot of older guys, but we're all happy to be here and we're trying to win a championship here. So I mean, it's good that I worked out all summer so I can come here in shape and be ready to hit the ground running.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, you look good a couple weeks ago, so I totally believe that.
Appreciate
Um,
you.
so I want to start here. I want to we'll go back a little bit. You played at Chaminade Julienne.
Yep.
Here obviously in Dayton. So like,
Yep.
what was your time like there? I'm sure high school basketball was a little different, but
Yeah.
what was your time like there?
Man, my time at CJ, I mean, it was definitely fun for sure. People ask me all the time, like, would you do it differently? Would you stay at CJ for all 4 years? But I mean, it's a tricky situation, but it was always nice just you know, to play against guys that you grew up with. You know what I mean? Like I had some cool teammates that I grew up with, and I mean, it was fun for sure. Especially my sophomore year, it was very fun.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, that's awesome. And so I want to ask you a little bit about like you kind of mentioned there. So you made the change to go to Mount Verde Academy, which is obviously anybody who pays attention to college, high school basketball, they know that that is a very prestigious
yeah,
place to play, and in a place that more often than not gets you to a Power Five school. So I mean, what
yeah.
what was that like? What was that process like? Is it like a recruitment in a way?
Man, it was damn near it was like college, man. Because so my connection for even going down there was from it was a man, it was like a friend of a friend, but he was a good friend of my dad's. Name is Ron Harris. So he's from Cincinnati. He was really into that basketball, the whole scene. But somehow, well, he moved to Florida because his sister got sick. So he moved him to Florida. Now, mind you, he's probably at the time he's probably in his 50s. So he moved to Florida, got his assistant coaching job at Mount Verde, and he was like, "Hey, Justin, basically told the coach at the time, Kevin Boyle. He said, "Hey, I got a guy in Dayton, Ohio." So I flew down there. I mean, it's like a college visit. So I flew down there. We had we visit the campus, visit everything. When I say campus, I mean actual campus. It was an actual campus. Separate buildings, a whole athletic area, different side of the campus, and then we had like probably like a 2 3 hour workout session just on the court. The coach seeing what I could do and whatnot, and that's how I got there for real. It was legit like college. Like got the whole scholarship and it's yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess in a way too, that probably helps because like that kind of probably prepared you for college recruitment getting
Not for
through that
sure.
process, like kind of already going through it and kind of almost like I guess yeah, a college atmosphere. You're coming in, you got other guys from all
Yep.
these other areas coming in. It's not like, like you said, like CJ, you're playing with guys that, you grew up with and stuff, and now you're going and playing with guys probably all over the country, right?
Yeah, that was the biggest difference. It was like, I mean, no shade to people I grew up with, but I'm just kind of like a big fish in a small pond. But when I go down to Mount Verde, it's like a whole bunch of other guys. That's well, growing up, I really never paid attention to national rankings. But when I got there, I put names to numbers. I'm like, oh shit, this is such and such, and he's 6'10", and he's a point guard, and he's 7 foot, and he can shoot. So that was like the biggest difference. It was just the whole. I mean, it was just like an eye opener. Like, damn, I'm not. I mean, I'm good, but I'm not that good because there's people from all over the world coming to Mount Verde and showing up for sure.
Yeah, and I think that that's probably I can see how that's probably a good thing too because I had actually just watched this I watched a podcast with Patrick Beverly and Gilbert Arenas where Gilbert Arenas was telling these kids they were like, "Listen, like Patrick Beverly is like what do you know him as a defensive player, right? But like in high school he was dropping like 37. But then there's
Exactly.
kids that'll put up, 20, 25 in high school, but it's like you might not be at the next level, you might not be a scorer, you got to be able to do more. So I could see how that would
Yep.
help because you kind of learn how to like probably play more of a role when you're playing
Not
with
for
all these
sure.
other talented guys, right? Yeah.
For sure. When I was at CJ, it was like, I kind of had my sophomore year. It kind of was like, I would step into that role as an option A. We still had John Staley. He was pretty much option A, but I feel like I was right. I was right there. But when I went to Montverde, it was like, all right, Justin, you're good. You can shoot, but there's somebody else that's about to be in the NBA and he can shoot. So like, think about, you can shoot the ball, you can be aggressive, but like, give it to Ben Simmons. He can go, you know what I mean? He could do what Ben Simmons does and give it to D'Angelo, give it to Dakari, give it to Casey Hill. We had so many D1s and professionals, man. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, that's crazy. I didn't know. So Ben Simmons was on that team.
Yeah, so my first year we had 71, so I can go, yeah. Just to pay respect. So it was
Yeah.
me. It was me, Virginia Tech. I had D'Angelo Russell. I had Casey Hill. If you don't know Casey, go look him up on YouTube. Dakari Johnson with the Kentucky. He's in China. He's killing China. Devin Williams. He's from Cincinnati. Devin Williams,
Oh.
but went to West Virginia, and now he's I think he's in Japan or Taiwan. Who else? Jordan Caroline from Illinois. He's overseas playing. Am I missing somebody? Jalen Patterson with the LSU. So that was my first year there, and then Ben Simmons. Then
Yeah.
my second year, we had a whole nother squad. We had McKenday London with the Xavier. Chris Iggy went to Harvard. Like I said, Jalen Patterson, Amar Rory, D'Angelo, me, Ben, um, Jordan Caroline. Well, I said Chris Iggy. I said Chris Iggy. And then at the same time, we had like a lot of foreigners. Like
Oh.
we had foreigners coming in from Germany and
Dang.
Africa. Just yeah, it was
I didn't even
ridiculous.
know they had the. I didn't even know that was a thing too. But I mean, I guess that makes sense. Come over, like
Yeah,
it's like you said, it's recruitment anyway. So
it was recruitment. It was like, hey, if you can fit in and fit your role and play defense and all that stuff, then you can find a spot on the team for sure. So yeah,
yeah. Well, it
it's
kind
a
of reminds me of. I don't know if you've seen like the little. It's kind of getting memed now, but it's like the latest Mountain Verde lineup where it's like Cooper Flag and like all these dudes that just got
yeah,
drafted and they show
yeah,
them all, and
yeah.
I'm like, damn, that's crazy though. Like they were all playing on the same team in high school. I'm like,
Yeah,
that's
it's
nuts.
right now. Well, before the head coach left now, but at that point it was like just a basketball factory. Just come
Yeah.
in, do what you need to do. You're on your way out. Go somewhere professional, NBA, wherever. So,
Yeah.
I mean, the biggest lesson it taught me how to play a role. Taught me how to play with and against other good players. I mean, if I would have stayed at CJ, I would have been like, mm, if I would have stayed at CJ, I would have been the guy there, but not knowing how to play with other talent.
Yeah.
Because
It's probably
it's the biggest eye opener. If I would have stayed at CJ and then go to college and then go somewhere else and professional, then there's other players that's like NBA players, and you don't know how to play with talent, then you don't fit in and you
yeah.
don't get a role.
Yeah, no, and I can kind of tell from your response that you don't. I wouldn't say you really regret anything from that because it sounds like
No, no,
it,
no, no.
it
I
really
mean, I
worked
was
out.
in, yeah. Now, mind you, Mount Verb is in Orlando, Florida, so I was
Yeah.
loving it for sure.
Right, right. It's no shade to Ohio. Like I've always lived in Ohio. I love Ohio, but like whenever I get to go
Yeah,
out of Ohio, I'm like, man,
yeah,
this is kind of nice. Like the weather
exactly.
is nice.
It's a whole new world for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, because right now it's like 95 and humid, and I'm like, this would be nice, like if there's a beach, but we're out
right.
here in the
It's
country
nothing.
basically, like,
Exactly, exactly,
but
exactly.
so I want to transition a little bit here to
Okay.
which kind of ties in with like recruitment and everything. So obviously you go play college basketball at Virginia Tech. Um, like first off, if you want to take me through how that was, if you had how if there was other big schools looking at you, and kind of like what separated Virginia Tech.
Man, so if I'm gonna be honest with you, when I was going through college, I really didn't have a goal as far as like where I want to go. I didn't have a goal as far as like playing NBA or professional. So I was getting looks. I was getting a lot of looks. I started at CJ. I was getting, the local schools, Dayton and Xavier, and kind of like everywhere in Ohio. But when I went to Montverde, kind of opened up to like a lot of schools in Florida. Um, damn, how did so? Hmm, I mean, it was a lot of schools for sure. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I won't make you name every one of them, but
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. But I
yeah.
know like the important ones was Virginia Tech. Actually, I signed with Virginia Tech because I wanted to play in the ACC. I wanted to play against. Actually, my dream school was Louisville. I take that back. My dream school was Louisville. They recruited me, but obviously not hard enough. I didn't feel important in their
Sure.
scheme. So I was like, I'm gonna play against them. I'm gonna play against North Carolina, play against Duke.
Yeah.
So Virginia Tech, their head coach was after me. Like I'm like, he's like, hey Justin, when you get here, you're gonna have to earn it, but this is what you're gonna be. And I'm like, okay, I like it.
Yeah.
So I went there. Well, I chose to go there. Then the head coach got fired before I got there, and Buzz Williams came in,
Yeah.
and then that kind of put everything to a halt. But I ended up staying there, and I mean, yeah, I stuck it out for 4 years there.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Yeah,
obviously Buzz Williams, he's a great coach. Like he's high regarded. So I don't
for
know if that
sure. Yeah.
played into it, but I feel like that still works out. Like
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. It was like, well, it was a period where since they didn't have a coach, I could have went anywhere else.
yeah.
And then at that time, I'm still at Montverde, and a lot of bigger schools I never thought I was getting was calling my phone, and I'm getting letters from big interest and offers. And at that point, I was just like, let me just stay at Virginia Tech. Let's just. There's nobody on nobody that rostered my position. It's the ACC. That's the biggest thing. I want to play in the ACC.
Yeah.
And I know if I can get my numbers off or have good games against these teams, then they're gonna have to look at me too. So that was my biggest goal.
Yeah. Which, so I want to ask you a little bit about like the way college basketball is today. And,
Yeah.
like you said, the ACC, like, especially back then, hands down, in
Huh.
my opinion, was the best college basketball conference. Nowadays, like last year, people said the SEC, the Big Ten's got some, motion here and there.
Yeah,
But I mean, ACC is still, it just feels like a basketball
for
conference.
sure.
But so with you going to Mount Verde, going to the
Yep.
ACC, you can be modest, but I'd like to say if this was today, you'd be getting a pretty good NIL check, I would assume. So like,
Yeah.
what do you think? Like how tough do you think that would have been? Like being like 18, 19 years old, like making the money that these guys make nowadays. Like, do you think that would have changed anything for you, or like for the better or for the worse? Like,
I mean, always for the better because I was in college. I was struggling. We had our days where it's like, all right, how we gonna get our meal? I mean, they took care of us, but you're young, and it was still a struggle for how to manage finances. But if I was getting NIL deals, I don't know, man. I would have been irresponsible with it, to be honest with you. I would have been the guy with the Cybertruck on campus and then, blowing all of it. But at the same time, I would have had access to people that can help me take care of my money if I had the NIL deals. just to capitalize off my name. I was there for 4 years, and I would like to say I was kind of a important piece at Virginia Tech for those 4 years, especially on the basketball side of things, and even just ACC side of things. We had our games. We were prime time, on Saturdays, 12 o'clock at noon, playing against, like I said, the Dukes of North Carolina, and we were beating them. So, I mean, we had our access to. If we had access to the money, that would have been nice. But all in all, I think it would have been a good thing for us for sure.
Yeah. Well, I think
But
that's
it's another,
important.
it's another side of things where it's like, if I would have got the money, would I have been as hungry? Would I have been as,
Yeah.
focused? Would I have
Yeah.
stayed there 4 years? I don't know.
Yeah, because I mean, you've seen it now in college where it's like, okay, yeah, this guy's getting paid a lot of money in a good situation, but it's also like, oh, hey, here's some other school. It's like, well, we can give you a raise and you come over here, and it's like
Exactly.
crazy. And I don't know if it's, I don't know, like obviously,
I don't know
I'm
either.
out in these shoes, I don't know, but it seems
Yeah,
like, it seems like it can kind of mess with that, like continuity and kind of get into the next level just because you're just so like changing from this, and you might not be
yeah,
improving your game as much, like. I don't know. It's
yeah.
it's a crazy. I mean, it's basically like a professional sport nowadays in
It's
college,
for
for
sure
sure.
is. And the weird thing about it is like it's tough to have like a guy that's been, as a freshman, he had to grind it out, and then his senior year, he's like the guy on the team. That doesn't happen anymore now.
Yeah.
And then like if you start at a small school, there's no more like CJ McCollum stories or Damian Lillard
Mhm.
stories. If they do good at a small school, they're going to a bigger school because the money.
Right.
And I mean, it's tough because I mean it's very tough. I
Yeah.
don't know
But
the
you can't
answers.
blame it. Like it's hard because like you can't blame a guy like like I follow like Wright State in the local area and stuff, and they've put
Yeah,
guys in these Power Five schools. Like they got guys going to Ohio State and stuff, and it's like you cannot blame these guys. Like you're getting to go to a
yeah,
school that they probably always dreamed of going to, but weren't recruited there coming out of high school,
yeah.
and it's like now you get the
Seriously,
opportunity to go play there, and
yeah.
you might have to take a lesser
Can't say no
role.
to it.
Right, right. How can you say no? Like it's, I think it's good. I don't know. I go back and forth because like sometimes it's like okay, that's really good and that's really cool, or like
Yeah,
if somebody's at a school where like oh they just brought in this 5-star guy, like even at a Power Five school they bring in this 5-star guy that's plays the same position there, and this guy might take your minutes. And it's like there could be a hole on another really good school and a really good opportunity for you to hey I'm just gonna go over there now
yeah,
I'm getting my same role in the same even maybe in the same conference and get
yeah,
more of an opportunity to put your stuff on film. So
yeah.
it's crazy though. It's crazy.
It is crazy. It's like I feel like back then we kind of the mindset was like we let's get to the promised land as far as winning. But now it's like me. Let me set myself up for the future, and I can't blame that thought either because it's nice thinking about yourself and getting paid for it and reaping the benefits of it. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, no, it's crazy. And I think maybe we'll see more of it coming into the NBA, more of like I mean, we're already kind of seeing like heavy ISO game and stuff
yeah,
like that, but it's like maybe that's going to continue or maybe like I don't know. These NBA coaches are dealing with this or just any professional basketball coaches I don't think are getting paid enough because you got to
right,
deal with these guys out of college that are like used to, being the guy
yeah.
and getting paid, and it's just like it's got to be hard for them. So
It's got to be hard. And then as far as a professional coach or NBA guy, it's like it's politics because you can have a guy that's 18 with NIL money and he can he might not be ready, but his GM, his boss is telling him, hey, you got to put him in because we paid him this amount of money, and it's
right,
like he's not there yet. But
yeah,
if he went to school for 4 years at a good organization, I mean a good college institute, and it's like he knows the game, it's easier for him to play, as a rookie
yeah,
or 2 3 years in college. You never know, but yeah.
yeah. But yeah,
So
no, I
it's,
mean, I think this year in the NBA draft there was 18 freshmen in the first round, so literally only 12 non-freshmen, and it's like how many of those guys are going to be ready next year to really contribute?
yeah,
Probably not as many as are actually going to be playing on these teams. So yeah,
exactly, exactly.
it's the development teams and everything. They're not getting paid enough either because they're
Yeah,
under pressure from the jump.
it's very much a gamble, very much a gamble, and it's
Yeah,
all potential, and it's all do you fit this mold? And if they give you 2 3 years to figure it out, if you don't, then you're out of there.
yeah,
It's Yeah, it's tough.
yeah. So Anyway, I want to switch a little gears with you here. And while we're on the topic of college basketball, Virginia Tech, I want to have you blind rank some Virginia Tech alumni. Now, I know you have at least played with like one of these guys. If you play with more, my apologies. I don't want you. I don't want
Yeah.
to put you in a bad situation. But
Okay.
I'll say these are five great players, so you can't go wrong. All right,
Okay.
so first guy we got is Nikhil Alexander Walker.
That's my guy. Funny
Which he
story. He
also
was
just
kind
got
of
paid. He's got a big
he
contract.
just got it back. He was my guy, man. When I was a senior, he was coming in as a freshman, and man, he had a great attitude about everything. But to your ranking, let me see. He's getting paid. How can I not put him one? You know,
Okay. Okay. All right.
how can I not put him one?
Off the rip,
Yeah,
number one. I mean, I'm not going to argue with that. He had a good showing in the Western Conference Finals too. So,
yeah.
hey,
And then
he was
the thing about it, like his role right now is 3 and D. Man, he's good as hell. He can
he got a
dribble.
bag.
He can play a point guard. He got a bag. He kind of showed it when he was in summer league. He's good as hell, and
Mm.
hopefully he get a chance to show it in Atlanta. But if not, he's getting paid to play 3 and D. He's got paid a lot of money,
Yeah.
so who cares?
Yeah. And they got a good thing going over there in Atlanta. So, I think it'll work out for him.
For sure, for sure.
So the next guy I got on the list is Kerry Blackshear Jr.
Oh man, he's getting paid a lot of money too. Kerry Blackshear Jr. See, I want
It's
to
a
put
tough
him
list.
too because he's one of those guys. He's so versatile at 6'10", but I don't know who you're gonna put next. I'm putting him three.
Okay, three. All right. Next
Ah,
guy I got, I believe he also just got paid pretty well. And I think he only played 2 years at Virginia Tech, but Dorian Finney Smith.
oh man, I don't know him. I gotta put him three because he's stayed in the league consistently and he constantly finds a job and he's
Yeah.
needed. I put him two for
Two.
sure too.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
for
right.
sure.
So we got Del Curry next, the OG.
uh, I mean, he did bless us with Steph Curry, right?
Yeah.
So I can put him at four. I
Okay.
haven't
All
met
right.
him either. He didn't really come to Virginia Tech much when I was there because a little sour situation with him and his son. His son didn't get recruited there at Virginia Tech at all.
Mm,
So that could be a part to it. I don't know, but
yeah.
I wish I met him.
That's playing at
So
Duke.
yeah. Ah
It's
man.
understandable.
I'll put him four.
All right. And this
Yeah.
is going to look like a very modest list for you because I have yourself as the last one. So you'll slot in at
Oh
five.
man.
But
Yeah. I'll put myself at five. I'll put myself at five.
hey,
Yeah, for sure.
I think it's a good list. You could have
Yeah.
moved yourself up there, but hey,
I'm a nice
very,
guy. I'm a nice guy.
very,
Yeah.
very modest of you.
Very selfless. Very selfless
Yeah,
of me. Yeah.
yeah, for sure. Well, that's cool
Yeah.
though. I mean, two of them guys, like I was saying, they just got paid. Like that's awesome to
Yeah.
see.
They're all doing good stuff. We have a lot of alumni that's like doing really good things and
Yeah,
overseas guys and they're really close to me. I'm really close to them. And it's good to see for sure.
yeah, that's awesome to see, and that's something too. Like with like your guys' generation of college is probably way closer together and more tight knit than maybe
Yeah.
today will be.
Yeah.
So that's
I
awesome to
mean
hear.
we did all 4 years ago, so it's like we have
Right.
no choice but to be close, you know?
Yeah, no
So
doubt.
yeah.
So next question here I want to ask you, and it's kind of on that same thing as we're kind of talking, like, you know, growing up through the system and everything, like going through, college and kind of just modeling your game for now, you're playing professionally. So
Right.
I just want to know, like, whether it was growing up or maybe in your time at, in college, like, what is there some certain players that you watched film of or kind of just like modeled your game after, like any inspirations?
Man, I have so many inspirations. Well, I mean, I grew up. My dad was a big part of that. Mm, he was a big Michael Jordan guy. He made sure to show me all the clips of Michael Jordan, and so my dad's a part of that generation. And then my brother's favorite player was Kobe Bryant. So I'm just watching them and trying to mimic everything they do, on the court, as far as like footwork and everything. And I mean, I kind of model my game after everybody, even if they didn't look like me or it's different body type. I was a big Allen Iverson fan. I was a big Tracy McGrady fan. I was a big Vince Carter fan when he was in Toronto. Man, when I was a kid, I watched everybody, and I tried to anything I saw them do on TV, I would try to get my ball and try to do the same thing and trying to jump off 2 feet like Vince Carter, try to do the crossover like AI. But I mean, I watched
Yeah.
everybody for sure.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
that's awesome. That's good to hear. Like that
yeah,
that era too is like just
yeah.
a just a awesome era of basketball too. Like you
Not for
guys.
sure. When it was the weekend, I don't know, whenever it was, maybe Saturday, Sunday, and it was like, LA versus Sixers. I was watching everything.
Yeah.
How they walk, every mannerism, how they walk, how they talk to the coaches, the rest. I was dialed into every part of the game as a kid. And then I kind of was the same. Even now, I still watch people now, and I'm like, I just watch you know, how they get their job done. I watch Shea. I watch. I'm a big fan of. I know he's getting shitted on right now, but I'm still a fan of Bradley Beal. He
Hey,
he just got the short end of the stick as far as being in Phoenix, but I
yeah,
love
it's a
his
tough situation.
I love his game, man. If you watch his film, it's like, yeah, Bradley is a bucket, but and who else? Bradley, Shea. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
Yeah, no, you can't go wrong there.
Cade
Um,
Cunningham, Cade
oh yeah.
Cunningham,
Yeah, he's
Montverde
he's on
product.
the come up. Yeah, he
Yeah,
played in
for
my
sure.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like probably half the NBA, but
Right. Exactly.
so I want to ask you now, obviously you played 4 great years at Virginia Tech, and
Yeah,
you go and you play a little bit of G League.
yeah.
One of the teams you played for was the Maine Red Claws. I'm a Celtics fan, so
Okay.
I
Okay.
which now they're the I kind of don't like it. They're the Maine Celtics. Like the Red Claws was just that was a
That
sweet
was
ass name to me.
that was their own little thing
That
that little
logo
mix
was
there. Yeah.
to me. I think I literally have a Maine Red Claws shirt somewhere. I don't know where it's at, but
Okay.
I,
Okay.
I was
Yeah.
a little bit young. Like it's been a minute since they changed, but I definitely
Right.
would I was trying to be locked in. But so
Yeah.
like what was that like playing the G League, but also kind of like having a connection with the NBA franchise and like
Yeah, man. So like the G League, it was more like that was a very big eye opener because it was like I'm going to the G League and I'm very much mentally institutionalized from playing 4 years at Virginia Tech. And it's like when you play in the G League, it was like, hey, you gotta defend, you gotta, get a bucket, you have to play the right way, and everybody that you're playing against is nice as hell. They're trying to get 30, they're trying to get to the NBA. So it was a heavy balance of playing selfish but playing the right way. And I think I found that out. Yeah, my rookie year, they wanted me after 2 and 3. They wanted me as three in defense, 3 and D.
Mhm.
And then some things happened, and next thing you know, I'm playing the point guard in the G League against other professionals. And so when I played the point guard, I kind of showed, my game. I could show that I could make decisions with the ball. I could score at a high level. And then that's how I had two call ups, and that was with the Clippers. So I was with the Clippers before I was with the Clippers Shea's rookie year.
Oh wow,
So
okay.
yeah, I was there and ended up getting hurt for my 10 days, but I was there for probably a good month. And that's when they lost to the Warriors when they had Kevin Durant. But
Yeah.
so that was my little G League spiel. Then the second year, I went back to Maine Red Claws, and we were loaded, like loaded. We had Big Taco Falls, Tremont Water, and so yeah, we was loaded. And then COVID happened. So
Damn.
yeah,
Yeah.
you're right.
That's because I the G League you guys probably didn't play during COVID, right? Like
No, they
during
shut
any
it
of that
down.
time, right? Yeah.
It was weird. It's just like, hey, we're go home, and we're just like,
Damn. Like what?
at that point, we were like easily number one at that time. We had a loaded team my
Dang.
second year. It was like, we were trying to win. Everybody in that team sacrificed their numbers to try to win the G League championship, and they just shut it down.
Damn.
Yeah, that was yeah,
Well, I got to ask you too, like as a side note, because obviously it's a very what am I trying to say? Very tantalizing player is probably not the right word I'm trying to say, but whatever. A very very known player like Taco Fall.
yeah,
How is it playing with him? Like obviously he's a
he's
physical specimen, but like how
yeah,
is he also like as a person?
man. As a person, he's a funny ass dude. Good dude, funny. He's one of those guys that surprised me because I saw him a lot because he's from Florida as well. So I saw him a lot in high school. We're kind of the same age, and I never met him, but when I met him and he was on our team, he was like, "Hey, man, like, I mean, just a funny guy. I can't really describe. He's just a funny guy. But on the court, he was like the ultimate teammate because he'll set screens for you and he'll roll to the basket and he's always open. If you want an assist, give him the ball, and he's dunking everything and he's way more mobile than you would think. He's 7'6", but he can run.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm happy he's doing good as well. I don't know where he's at, but yeah, it was Taco Fall something for sure.
Yeah. I just
Yeah,
remember the days like I said, watching the Celtics and we'd be in like it might be a blowout or it might be up a little bit and the
I
fans would
put
be
him
going
in.
crazy like Taco, Taco. And I'm like,
Yeah,
"Wait, get this dude in there, dude." Like, oh,
yeah.
it was so fun. He's just a fun player to watch for sure. And he
No, it
seems
was
like
for sure.
a funny guy for sure.
Not for sure. And like he could shoot. I mean, just playing it right, like he'll mess around and just shoot a three and it'll go in. It's like, yeah, that's what he does. He works on it.
Yeah, he's skilled.
Yeah, he says that, but whatever.
Yeah. And it kind of probably for him, he's probably just in an era where it's tough for him. Like if he would have been playing back in the 90s or early 2000s, like you
Yeah,
see like Sean Bradley was like I think number 1 overall pick, if I'm not
yeah,
mistaken, or like Yao Ming had a hell of a prime. Like he probably would have been one of the greats or at least just one of the best centers in the league back then, but it's
oh,
just the game
for sure,
nowadays. Yeah,
for sure.
it's
He would have been there, and he would have made his stamp because at that time it was they try to find guys that just who can stop Shaq, and
mhm.
he would have been drafted just to do that, stop
Yeah.
Shaq.
Yeah, good luck, Shaq, getting on Taco Fall because he's got a little more meat on his bones than like a Sean
Exactly.
Bradley
Yeah,
and stuff. So
yeah,
it would
for
have been
sure.
interesting. We'll have to. I guess we'll only know in like 2K. We'll never know. But
Exactly, exactly.
so I want to ask you, like you do a little bit in the G League and then you make the decision to go overseas. Like,
Right.
what's the difference between that? I'm sure it's much more of a team game in the
Yeah.
overseas, but like I had a couple of side notes I want to ask you on, but I'll just briefly like what is that like going overseas, like going to a country that you maybe had never been to before?
Man, I was very nervous about it, and I mean, it kind of puts you in a place of like you're just on your own. But once you get that out of your head, and it's like you're on a team that really likes you for who you are, and it's like it gets you back into that college mindset because it's about us or we as a team. How can we get better to make it into a championship or a cup game or whatever, and that was the biggest difference because G League is you're on your own. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
guard your yard. Can you get a bucket? One on one. But in the overseas, is very much about schemes. Who's helping. If whoever's helping, we gotta. Who's the weak defender, or it's less one on one. But at the same time, they need you to be one on one player and score at. Because you're American. It's like you gotta have a healthy balance. So
yeah,
it's I mean, it's tough to get used to, and once you get used to it, you can find your market. But you see a lot of guys that's like, the big one-on-one scorers that can't find their niche, and overseas, and it's just you got to have a healthy balance of being a team player and have to go basically go get it one-on-one
yeah,
or however.
yeah. No,
Yeah,
for sure. That's what I always think because like I mean the most that I see a lot of like overseas type plays like the Olympics, but it seems like
yeah,
the so much movement, so much passing, like it just feels
that's
it's honestly fun to watch. Like it's very fun to watch. Like it's more of
very fun.
not as much just ISO, which like I like the NBA, but sometimes it's like, all right, man, I'm not trying to see Shea just go
Right,
ISO on this dude like
right, right.
17 times a quarter.
And
Like, you know
then
what I mean?
yeah, it's more physical, and it's like they have no problem fouling you 100 times, and I'm talking like just laying you out just so you don't go to the room no more. It was just, I mean, it's an eye opener for sure, and the schemes that they have on offense and defense. Luckily I went to school for 4 years, and I got taught growing up how to play different ways of basketball. But I mean, it was kind of cool, like going overseas and get reintroduced to all the different types of ways to stop a one-on-one player or different ways to score. In the G League, is the biggest difference is the G League is a whole bunch of athletic players, and you have an athletic big that can catch lobs.
Mhm.
Overseas, their big is not catching lobs. He's much more of you know, a joker.
Mhm.
He's very smart and he knows how to pass the ball and cut, and you have to work off of him. He's basically the
Yeah.
point guard overseas, and it's like they might not have the athletic advantage, but mentally they figured out how to slow down the athletic advantage for that.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, definitely. That's interesting too because I didn't even think about that with the bigs, but that makes sense because every big from overseas that comes and plays the NBA, they always can pass, they can shoot.
Always.
Like they're like
Always.
Jokic, he's not athletic, but I
Yeah.
mean he gets his. It obviously I think he's the best player in the world, or whatever. He's top five at least.
For
Um,
sure.
Something I want to ask you about overseas too, which is just for somebody like I've never been out of the country, so like
Yeah.
is like how tough is like a language barrier like that? Like is it something that maybe is a little bit at first and you kind of get used to it, or is that something that's all year round? Like it's kind of a little bit of a challenge.
I mean, at first it was for sure it was a challenge because just in practice, sometimes my first year overseas, I had a Serbian coach. Actually, yeah, my second time. Well, yeah, a Serbian coach, and he thought he knew English, so he get to yelling at us, and it's like I don't understand the words you're saying, but he thinks he's saying all the right things. He's trying to cuss us out, and he's saying curse words that don't even make sense, and it's like, and he's Serbian, and everybody knows that Serbian coaches are pretty wild, and I was like, man, I cannot do it. He's yelling at everybody, cussing us out, and then during the game, actual game time, he's doing the same thing, and I can't hear him. But I mean, the name of the game is put the ball in the basket. If you can do that, then
You
you'll
won't
be
get the
all right.
cuss word. You won't get the wrong
Yeah,
cuss
yeah,
words
yeah.
yelled at you.
Exactly, exactly. So after a while, you get used to it, and it's like just gotta tune it out because you
Yeah.
can get cussed out by the fans, but if you don't know what they're saying, just whatever,
Mhm. Yeah. And I don't know if you saw the clip. This just brought it to me when you said the fans. I don't know if you saw that clip of like DeMarcus Cousins like trying to beat up a fan overseas. And I just wanted
Yeah,
to know
that's
like I just wanted to know like does he know what they're saying or like is that just like he just didn't like a gesture or something? I saw that clip. I was like, this is crazy. Like,
yeah. I don't know what happened. I can't speak for him, but I know what I know. You're by yourself, man. It was like if you're on a away team at a different arena, like you're really by yourself, and
yeah, it's a
like I
hostile
know
environment.
is when I say hostile, it is hostile. It's like you're very much like any moment a fan could just jump on the floor and do whatever he wants to.
Dang.
'Cause, like when I played in Greece, it was the most hostile environment I played against. And I know there's tougher environments, but when I was in Greece, it was like for sure the SWAT or whatever army, whatever, they were there at the game because it was
Dang.
for sure getting wild. So,
So you would say it's tougher there than like Cameron Indoor.
oh
Dang.
shit, no,
I
that's
mean, that's a pretty. I don't know. That's a tough.
yeah, yeah. I mean, Cameron Indoor, it was much like fun. Like
Yeah.
you guys are yelling at me because I'm on the opposite team, but
Yeah.
in Greece, it was more like you guys are yelling at me, and like after the game, they're still trying to see you. Like, hey, you just beat us. I'm trying to like kill you. Like people
Dang.
die overseas. People like in the like different rival fans. People
Yeah.
have died for sure.
It's
Yeah.
probably kind of like that, like how you see like soccer games. The atmospheres are crazy. Like I would assume
Yes.
it's kind of
Like
like that. Yeah, and it's
yeah, it's a whole
serious.
bunch of smoke and flares in the
Yeah.
arena. It's like yeah, it's very much like that. So
Dang. Yeah. So
yeah,
it's like the people trying to wave behind the basket doing free throws. That probably ain't nothing when you do some shit
yeah.
like
It
that.
was it was. I got a funny story. It was in Greece where we was upsetting some big team, big organization that we were not supposed to win. So I was shooting free throws and I'm shooting free throws. I noticed it's like lasers on my people pointing lasers, red lasers, green lasers, all on my. So I'm looking down, I'm looking around like, okay, all right, like this is what's gonna happen. I end up making a free throw. I'm like, they're just then the police had to storm the fans, whatever, try to, it was crazy, bro.
Oh my
Crazy.
gosh. That
Yeah.
is crazy, dude. I did not know. Like, I knew they were rowdy, but I didn't know it got to that. But I mean, I guess
Yeah,
hey,
it's
shout out to the local law enforcement out there for keeping everybody safe.
yeah.
For the
Yeah,
most,
they
like, I
try.
mean,
Yeah, they
they're doing
try.
their best. It sounds like.
Right,
Dang.
right.
No, that's
Yeah.
crazy. So I got two more questions for you. First one is there like one aspect of playing overseas that game that you would like to see implemented in the NBA or just like or even college basketball, just kind of like American basketball that or if it's a rule or a certain thing that happens over there that you'd like to see?
Over here, that I like to see. I'll say more. I mean, they're trying for as far as the NBA, they're trying to make every game matter. As far as like they're doing that cup thing. I don't know what it's
Yeah, the
called, in
NBA,
season
yeah, the in
tournament.
season tournament. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So that's kind of came from overseas. It kind of makes sure like every game that you're playing it means something.
Hmm.
Because the NBA is 82 games. It's
Yeah.
hard to wake up for 82 games.
Yeah.
So overseas like they make sure every game matters, and they have in season tournaments for bonuses, or not even for bonus, just for basically for pride.
Mm.
And I say basically that
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah. Which I
somehow make the games matter.
yeah.
You
Well,
know?
I mean, obviously, like at the NBA, they have the management problem and everything. And I think if I'm correct, they give like $500,000 bonus to every player. So to me, it feels like okay, like
Yeah.
look at a guy like Shea. He
Right.
just got paid like seven. He's getting 71 annually now.
Yes.
And
Yes.
you look at him and it's like, okay, 500,000, whatever. I think I saw something. He will make 1 million per game or something. Well, I guess
Yeah.
it'd be
Right.
even whatever. It's an
Yeah.
insane amount. But like you would think, I guess the idea is like, hey, you got these guys at the end of the bench that 500,000 means a lot. So it's
Means
like
a lot.
maybe
Yeah.
it gives you like, hey, be a good leader, go out there, play for these guys that really, or really majority of the team would be cool with it. The guys that they really want to play, obviously, they're getting the crazy deals. That don't
Right.
mean much, but I guess that's the idea. But I agree though that making the games matter more throughout the season, I think
Yeah.
that's a good thing. And it sounds like yeah, they kind of got that down over there for sure.
No, for sure. Every game matters. It's overseas. The preseason game matters. Like there's a cup. We just got done playing in like a little cup challenge last week, and that mattered.
Nice.
And it's like they have it down as far as making
Yeah,
games matter,
I guess the
and it's
NBA kind of has like it's not the same, but they have like the summer league, I guess, so they have a championship. But it's like it's not like you're getting the full team out there playing. Like
right.
only
You're right.
there's so many guys that will play in summer league that won't make the roster. So that'd be
Yeah.
cool though. That'd be cool because NBA preseason games, it's like, bro, it just
Yeah.
it's just a way for the fans to go see their players for cheap, is what it feels like. But I would like
That's what it
that.
is.
That is interesting though. Put like a
Yeah.
little, put some sort of competition in it, and you're gonna see the competitive juice out of all these guys come out probably, which would be awesome.
Yeah. And then
Yeah,
if that can happen like in December or January, whatever, and it's like, people want to see playoff basketball earlier, then that would be something cool.
yeah, yeah. Which is
Yeah.
what I mean. That's what the casual NBA fan only like watches the playoffs. So that'd be cool to get grow the game that way. Um,
Right. Right.
so the last thing I want to ask you is, just kind of like, obviously, you got a decorated career, and I completely forgot to touch on like you got a gold medal playing FIBA.
Yeah. 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 I
Um,
forgot about that. Yeah. I forget about that too. I forget about that too, honestly.
yeah, but I mean, you've had all types of accolades and accomplishments. So like, is there like a piece of advice that you could give like whether it's like local Dayton like high school or younger kids that are just trying to make it to the next level? Like, is there or and have a long professional career like you've had? Like, is there some advice that you have for that?
Man, I got so much advice because I still learn new things every day, and I even now I'm 29. I'm still battle through things, but I say when you're young, just find ways to keep the game fun. You know, uh, nowadays I think people are so headstrong on working out and working out, and it's like, yeah, I get working out is fun. I mean, working out is a thing to do because there's cameras around, all that stuff. But it's
Hmm.
like make sure you just have fun with it, because there's gonna be at some point where you won't have fun, and it's like you're doing it because of a job, and you still need to find ways to wake up in the morning and still be happy that I play basketball.
Yeah.
So just have fun with it and play as much as possible if you can. Like I said, people do a lot of drills and a lot of cones, and working out with, guys like Xander, but make sure you play. Make sure you play 5-on-5. That's the real way of getting better. That's the real way of knowing like what I'm working on in the summertime is actually working.
Mm.
So make sure you play. Make sure you're just stay in the gym, live in the gym. Nothing's wrong with it. Everything doesn't have to be 100% intensity, but if you could just touch a basketball, do a little of this, a little of that, anytime you can, hopefully is, you know, every day. And you'll become a good player.
Yeah.
Just find who you are. Find who you are as a person. Just if you're a defensive guy, lock in on being that person. And there's so many ways of making money in basketball. And it's like if you're a defensive guy, be a defensive guy. If you want to get rebounds, rebounders get paid. If you want to be a shooter, shooters get paid.
Definitely.
There's only less than 1% of guys that's like a LeBron James or a Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. It's like what it sucks though, like you're not gonna be that person. If you are, kudos to you, but you have to find a role and just be that guy in that role.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
awesome,
like
man. That
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, for
Yeah,
sure,
which it
for
kind
sure.
of goes back. It's kind of like full circle. Well, like we kind of talking about earlier, like yeah, not everybody can put up, or not everybody's going
Yeah,
to put up 30 at the next level, but if you can do something well, that
you did
seems like
something
that's where
well.
you get to be.
You can change your family's life. You can change your whole life if you can do something well, and that's what the NBA is, and that's how some teams overseas is, and you can make a lot of money,
Yeah.
because there's only one LeBron James.
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt.
So, yeah.
Well, Justin, thank you so much for joining the show. I had a great time, man, and
Sure.
I wish you and your team, a ton of luck
Yeah.
this year, and I hope you guys
Yep.
have a really good season and win the cup, or if it's not called the cup, I apologize, but I hope you guys
Yeah.
hit your
Just
goal for
win.
sure. Just
Yeah,
win.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, just win.
yeah. Yeah. Nah, for sure. I appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. Have fun.